Okay, so we have already created local storage on the ESXi server, and I'm just gonna go through some of the recap. Before that, I always ask if you or anyone of you have already taken benefit of the 70% exam fee discount voucher from you know where. Um, so uh, Not yet. Okay. So guys, last cohort, uh, two or three students, as I said before, two or three students tried to access this 70% exam discount, but it was grayed out, and it was 1 year. And after 1 year, the people were trying, and of course, it should be grayed out by then. So at least try to get that VCP exam voucher. This is something. This is an opportunity you won't get it again. So just go there to the site and get that voucher. Same area from where. Well, I did show the links even in the last video. Okay, let's go ahead and. So we have this environment of 4 virtual machines, and today I hope everyone has created the 5th machine, but we did not use it till now, right? So but originally when I asked everyone, hey, create the lab, so everyone did create 5 machines instead of um, okay, Elboard's not yet, but so uh, everyone has total of 5 machines in the VMware workstation. I'm not talking about the ESXi server. So that was original lab with 5 machines required, right? So anyway, we're going ahead. The recap for day 2 was that we went through vCenter options, then we added 2 data centers, and then we added hosts to each data center, and then we briefly visited some of the options that the host is showing now in both of the data centers. Then we added 3 VMs to each host. We also added the DNS entries of both ESXi hosts. Then we went ahead and tried to create the 2 hard disks on each host, you know, to add the hard disk in the data store. So this is how it looked like at that time, and now as well. We created 2 data centers here. Then we installed, we added 3 VMs. So I'm just gonna go ahead. We added 3 VMs each. We were having issue with the VMs on when we were creating VMs on each host. So on Toronto data center ESXi host, we were having problem of that the default setting of each virtual machine was thick provision instead of thin provision. So today we're gonna just sort that out, and for the virtual machines that we created on New York data center, we then went with the lower size, so we don't run out of space. Today we're gonna deal with some more of the space issues by first, we will be still creating the local storage on a second data center, which we did not do till now. We just created on the second, extra storage on the first data center we did, but not on the second. I'm gonna go through those steps as well again, and then we're gonna also add some remote storage. So that's why I needed the 5th machine now. So created 3 VMs on each ESXi, yes, and then what we did was we copied the Windows 8 ISO to the server 2, and then from server 2 vCenter we uploaded the ISO Windows 8 to the data store of ESXi 01 and data store of ESXi 02. So we added on both of the data stores local storage. We're still talking about local storage. So some of the troubleshootings and tests we needed to do when during the last lab was that our machines were, when we wanted to click and open them, like when we started the machine and wanted to see the interface in Google Chrome and VM and IE browsers, it was just sitting at one area and it was kind of frozen. So we had to look it from the other client, which was a vSphere client. From the web client, the machines, of course we need to have some plugins, but at that time we were not able to. So if anyone is able to do that, anyone is able to see your virtual machines of ESXi inside the vCenter from web client. Is anyone able to do that? If yes, you can put it in the chat. And one more thing about the chat, just gonna mute all. Okay, so now, so Alborz was able to you're saying that you were able to look at the machines in the browser as well. Okay, create a new tab automatically. You didn't have to add any extra plugin or anything, or it just went ahead. So and we also needed to test this lockdown option as well. Okay, you had already downloaded all plugins, that's why. Okay, for the troubleshooting. Okay, I'm just reading the chat. Oh, since it's for everyone, so everyone is also seeing that. Okay. So for now, I did not deploy that plugin or those plugins for the Explorer, where we could see in the web client the virtual machine and actually operate them. But that's why I have the vSphere client always open. Both the clients are open, so we could just switch back between the two. Mostly we're going to try to work in web client wherever the plugins or any other troubleshooting is required, and it required some time. Then I'm just gonna switch to the vSphere client, so we could carry on our tasks, and we also get to see both interfaces, where which option is where in both types of clients. So we get the experience of both using both the clients, as well as try to see what issues are coming in the web browser based in the web client. So okay, what we did till now, I'm just gonna go back to the slide and try to check more into. So tasks to do are various, and they're long as well. So we are still going for creating local storage. What we did till now, we added 2 hard disks, extra hard disks to ESXi 1, but we did not add hard disks to ESXi 2. So let me check how many hard disks are there for ESXi 1 host. So if I go to settings of the VMware workstation, and yeah, so I had 2 hard disks added there. Then we rescanned in the vCenter, and they were showing in the vCenter for ESXi 1, if you remember that. So if I check the ESXi 02, yep, we don't have. So this is one of the steps that we need to add. It's gonna be excuse me, and then we're gonna be just trying to create add one more machine to the local storage. So we're just testing if we have to add extra storage to any of the running ESXi servers. What do we need to do? Suppose you go to the rack server. Suppose, oh wow, since I opened the browser and it's still there, Samosa Factory, so let's just take one moment to see that and have a sigh of whatever. So okay, that done. So where I was going is FYI, so there's a comment there now from Shah. Shalom. It took me 4 days to resolve to run 64-bit guest OS on nested ESXi as my base OS is ESXi. Whoa! But you made it. Hey, congrats, Shah. And I hope you may have made a video or screenshots of that so you could just. Oh, okay. Message from Rashad. So you could share that as well, all the steps for that. That would be really appreciated. And screenshots haven't there, so let me just close this email because of the messages notifications coming. I should have. Okay. So first step would be today would be I will just quickly start adding hard disk to ESXi2 and rescan them in vCenter, and then I'm gonna create a second data store on ESXi2 as well. Then create a new virtual machine there as well. Then we're gonna go for using the remote storage. There are two ways to do that. Remote shared storage we're talking about now. So we then once we are done with the local storage and we clearly understand, okay, this is still local. I mean, in big environments that is not how it works in the big environments. But since it's from scratch, so we try to know all the options that we have, and what we have done till now we get to understand. Add hard disk to ESXi2, yes, and let's create remote NFS share. Then we were going to talk about NFS shares, and we're going to be using Windows 2012 NFS share feature, and then we're going to be trying to do that Windows 2012 iSCSI disks. So we're going to be having a iSCSI disk set up there in the Windows 2012. We will remember our lab as well for the clustering, where we had to create iSCSI disks. Same steps are there, but this time we're going to be adding those disks to the ESXi server, and of course ESXi within ESXi we have to just configure the initiators, while the target would be still the 2012 R2. This is an alternative to the OpenFiler and Starwind. Those who software can also provide us a iSCSI target server, but since Microsoft has that option as well, and you have already done the excuse me, you have already done the OpenFiler. Now it's time to check the Microsoft 2012 R2 as well. Okay, so I'm just gonna quickly finish that local storage exercise where we already have a storage done for ESXi1. I'm just gonna go quickly and add local storage to ESXi2 as well, so that we're familiar, and it would be just a recap as well. Both the configurations have to be the same on both ESXi servers, so we could go ahead and understand what is what later. We should have, so I'm just double checking that there were two hard disks with 100 GB each on ESXi1, so I'm just gonna add quickly now two hard disks 100 GB each on the ESXi2 as well. So I'm just going right clicking the ESXi server settings for that and clicking add. So I hope there are testers who are doing it with me along with me, so we could compare and share the results as well. This is always appreciated, and this is important for you too if you have to do it quickly and you have better command and nerve to stay sharp and go ahead with whatever's going on and actually implement that just like in the class. Okay, so I'm just next, and when it comes to hard disk, it's 100 GB I'm giving, although we know that it's thin provisioned, so it's not gonna just take over the whole disk space. So this is ESXi02. I'm adding the hard disk, which we did not do last time, and I'm just adding 200 GB hard disks. Okay, so two hard disks added to ESXi2, and I'm gonna be also trying to add the storage there back, but let me just full screen this VMware workstation environment and minimize vSphere client, because we're supposed to get acquainted more with the web client because of inclusion of everything web-based and cloud-based. Okay, so what we are doing, so here, you know what, VM 7 and 8 are resting on the remote storage, and I need to actually show that, and we need to do that step by step. I was just practicing that. Anyway, if I do not need a virtual machine like 7 and 8, what do I do? If I do not need, so first of all, it is shut down, and manage snapshot. So remove tag, or I need to delete it from the, so there's a delete from disk here. So I do not need right now extra machines. You guys don't have it, so you can just try it on any, you know, 6th or 5th machine, but I'm just trying to delete it and making sure that it does not occupy any space. It just goes away from my data store as well. So this is the option there. All vCenter actions, and then go for delete from disk. So I'm just I have clicked that and press yes. Delete this from my data store as well. Okay, this task is going on right now. I'm just trying to, okay, so this is one task going on right now. VM7 is deleted from the disk, and since that disk also is remotely available, not local, I just wanted to delete those things, but I want to do it on video, so you know, we just get to know how do we delete from data store as well, the same virtual machine. So I'm just gonna go to all vCenter actions here and just go for delete from disk for 8, 7 and 8. We're gonna create that again. Oh, your hosts are back. Cool. What happened? You restarted? Albors? So I'm just responding to a chat. Okay. So second machine is going away, and oh, okay, one service. Wow, we're troubleshooting, man. So okay, so I have added 2 disks on ESXi02. So I will be going where? To the storage, and then go to manage. Oh, seriously, I need to delete that storage as well. Should have done it on the practice one. Sorry, this is an extra storage I created, which we will be creating again. All vCenter actions, delete data store as well. Okay. No, so you don't have that, so you know, do that to existing ones. Thank you. So this remove data store is going on right now. So first I removed the virtual machine that was on this data store. Now I am removing the data store as well, which was an extra thing, practice thing. Okay, so data store should be removed from the hard disk. Right now I want to just detect okay, data store takes a little more time than, and it is being deleted from remotely, so thanks. And okay, done. So oh, enter local storage is requesting permission to store information, allow. Oh, that's Flash Player. And reloading the client is recommended so as to clear any problems left by this error. Click yes to reload the vSphere web client. Okay, there was some error and the web client has to be reloaded. Okay, we get to see from these errors that okay, we could face these kind of problems. While I have my vSphere client also running, I'm just gonna log in from web client. Oh, okay. Channel is disconnected. Channel, yeah, yeah. This is failed to navigate to desired location. Error details. Sure, stack. Okay, click OK. Is it coming or shall I refresh? Okay, guys. This error should not be coming as I was just deleting the data store. Yeah. So you want to see how to add hard disk from web client? Yep. That's where I was going now. So I'm just going to close this because there's an error coming, and I'm just gonna go back, and this is a vSphere web client. Okay, advanced, proceed to the local host. And it's loading. Okay, administrator. Oops. Why? At vSphere.local. I always just skip to the password whenever I just type administrator. Enter. Okay. Good. So I am back, and we have added 2 hard disks, and we wanted to check out the storage. So if everyone's on the data store is in inactive mode, is it mood or mode? So okay, we added the 2 hard disks to the ESXi2, and ESXi2 belongs to the New York data center, right? Before doing that, I will just go back and go to the hosts and clusters, and this is the ESXi2. So I'm just gonna go to ESXi2 and go to storage devices here. Storage devices. So ESXi02 in vCenter, then in data center, and the host, storage, and storage devices. And then Elbows, how do you know that it's inactive mode? Can you send a screenshot? Thank you. So and try to activate it. Don't try to restart the service for. Oh, I need to see which of the 8 or 10 services we have to start. Okay, guys. So I have to rescan the storage device to check if it is. And what I'm doing now here. So guys, just bear with me. I need to quickly remove one thing. Don't be confused with that. These are all those settings which we are about to do, but I need to explain those instead of if they are already there and I show you. So just bear with me, and while I try to right click. Okay, targets, remove. Okay, there's the remove button, so I'm just gonna click that and click remove. So just ignore this, and I'm just trying to retrace all the steps and removing that, so when I explain, you don't get confused on, oh, this is something already he has and we don't have. Um, it has negative sign? Okay. Um, so guys, I just need to rescan this because we're gonna be soon adding remote storage, and that would be the iSCSI one. So for that, I'm just tracing back to everything I added. I'm removing that. So anyone else has their storage with the negative sign? When you right click Elbrus, what happens? What options do you have? Um, okay, so I'm back. I'm going back to what I was doing, ESXi02 storage and storage devices, and I want to see those two hard disks. Since I clicked the rescan, so Shah, you were asking about that. So this is the area, and you just need to rescan to see the two hard disks. So, and I'm seeing these two hard disks, the local storage. These two hard disks I'm seeing now. All we needed to do was go to this area and just click rescan here, right? Once you do that, so I had to do that for something else, and but it just detected my other two hard disks as well. So if you have done that, then okay. So just ignore this one. You're not supposed to see that yet. Okay, I've added two local storage. So I just want to create a new data store on my these two storage as well, or this storage as well, right? So before doing this, I'm just clicking here. No actions available, but I wanted to see detaches are selected. I don't want to detach. Just wanted to see the properties. Yeah, refreshes. Okay. So what I will be doing now is create a data store on the second on New York Data Center's ESXi02, because we have two data stores. If I now go to data store here, we are supposed to see two data stores for ESXi01 and one data store. Okay, so the way around actually. So New York has another data store already. Toronto does not. Toronto have just one data store. Guys, one more thing is that, do you remember from the last class that when we were creating virtual machines on ESXi01, we were running out of storage? Anyone remembers that? And then we found out that okay, they are already thick provisioned. So suppose that is the case, and not suppose, in Toronto we had that problem that every virtual machine we created was defaulting to thick provisioning and not thin provisioning. So they just took 30 30 30, and we had just 100 GB assigned there, right? So I'm just gonna go back and just try to show you one more thing, that okay, we did create those virtual machines in ESXi with thick provisioning. Suppose that the boss says, I don't want thick provisioning, and we haven't added anything, so can you change it to thin provisioning? Right now, when the machines are created, and it's in time that you haven't installed anything, or there are those virtual machines where we haven't started installing anything, right? So what would be the procedure to convert a thick provisioning to a thin provisioning while we have done nothing more than installed the virtual machine? There are partial commands for that too, and I'm actually going to show that later, or I'm going to send you those commands. But if we can do the GUI part easily, then the PowerShell part would be easier as well. So I had I had created 3 machines and they were all thick provisioned. Right now, how would I know that they are thick provisioned or thin provisioned? So if I click the VM01 inside the host ESXi01, which were having these issues, um, so this is the hard disk here. So I just click that and it's on the summary right now. And if I click this hard disk area here, does it tell me that it is thick provision or thin provision? So if I go there, so it does not show here. We're going to just check in the manage then. Yeah, edit settings shows that, definitely it does. So manage and settings, that just takes us to the edit settings. I'm just gonna go and just check from this area and click edit, or just directly click edit instead. Okay, anybody else's machine is slow or is it mine only? Okay, so we all created machines with thick provisioning, but later I changed it. Actually, not changed, deleted, removed, and added. I can say to thin provisioning instead of thick provisioning. So I'm just gonna go cancel out from here. The third machine was remaining. If I just go there quickly and check if it is thick provisioned, and I wanted to change it to thin provision. So any other ideas? Anyone has already done that? How to change from thick to thin? So if I go to this VM03 VM hardware and click edit, whoa, it is slow, and just expand the hard disk area, so it is thick provisioned. um, how can we change that? So there is that way I have done it. So okay, so there is that command, uh, yeah, so that's it. So delete and reinstall. um, that's how I converted the first two. So I should not say convert, I just changed that to this. But let's just do that now instead of so, oh, I was there. So I'm just going to go and click edit settings. I always normally do work in my vSphere client, which people are used to. Yeah, so this is the case when you haven't done anything, you haven't performed anything, and the scenario, this is the easiest scenario. But if we do have data, then how do we convert that? Then there are PowerShell commands for that. But we can try to find out from here as well. For now, let's do the easy thing. Take provisioning here, and okay, let me just get rid of this. So this is thick provisioned. Just wanted to check some options of conversion, but no. It would be the command line I would go for, and then here's normal virtual machine, so virtual device, advanced. So I'm just gonna new hard disk, existing hard disk, advanced. Virtual flash read, oh, that's worth making it fast. So now I'm going to my friend. Hello, my friend. Let me just do it. So yeah, it should be easier there as well. But if we go to vSphere client, where I always try to hide behind, if I right click and go to edit settings, guys, I think you have both vSphere client and web client ready, right? So yeah, press OK that, and it's gonna just open fine. And when you go there to the hard disk here, and there's that remove button here, right? Remove hard disk, remove. Okay, this is in vSphere client. So if I go back to web client, so there is remove, delete files from data store, device will be removed. So hard disk, click and press OK, right? So it's just, it pops up here, the cross sign. Just click that and then click remove, press OK. We just lost the hard disk, and yes, this is for just a new machine. Thick provisioning to thin provisioning, when it's working machine, then it is the command way to do that, the PowerShell way. There are three or four ways to do that in PowerShell, the 3 or 4 types of commands. No, one in PowerShell, one I have VBS script for that. That has been okay. So there is no hard disk now, right? The only hard disk there was, we just removed that. So I'm just gonna click edit again and go down. So this is a web client way of doing that. Then I'm gonna do this. Well, I cannot do the same thing on the same machine. I have to have another machine to do that if I want to do it with the vSphere client, but it's much easier there. So I'm just gonna go down for new device, click new hard disk here in web client, new hard disk, go device, new device, and new hard disk here, click add here. I was doing that. That's what I did, but it's not that deleting the hard disk. No, press OK. Sure, you have to press OK as well. So yeah, so you have to click cross, select it, and then press OK. Then when the hard disk is deleted, make sure, then come back here again to the edit and then add a new one. Let me know if there's a problemo. Okay, click add. This is a new hard disk, but does it give us the option to thick or thin provision that? So yep, there it is, that option, and I'm just gonna select the thin provision now here. But if I wanted to delete it, it's this icon here, there's a cross sign here, click that and then select the box and then press OK, right? Same for adding as well. I selected thin provision, and for now we're gonna just keep everything as is and press OK. Now thin provision hard disk is yeah, sure. I was just trying to go ahead and create all the basic lab and reach till remote storage. Then we're gonna talk about each and every tab and each and every option here one by one. That's why majority of us have been coming from huge amount of theory. So now the theory is waiting, and a lot of theory is waiting there. But when we have everything in place, then we're going to be discussing each and everything in detail. So then we're going to be understanding everything. But there's a question from Fasi that eager zeroed and lazy zeroed, and there are other questions. I want to discuss each and every option of this, direct path IO, network related, and hard disk related. So but I just want to wait for, we're just adding and deleting things, right? So we know what's going on in the environment. Then we're gonna go for theory sessions, and once everything is in place, we're gonna be just talking more about all the tabs, what those tabs are meaning for. So right now, if we are if we know what's going on, we're just constructing our lab till the remote storage. Then we are going to talk about what we have done and the theory part of that. So right now what we have done is, if the machine is not working, if the machine is thick provisioned and has not been done installation on, no applications have been installed, then we can, this is the one of the ways. But if the machine suppose is having OS and applications, and you want it to be thin provisioned, then it's longer process. So there is there are steps for that. Take a backup of the data, then try to convert that. And but right now I'm just concentrating on easier things. Then there are much complicated things coming in next classes, and we're gonna be like blown away, and that would be more fun, right? But right now we're just following up with the most easiest stuff. So right now what we have done is, if I start creating that, it's already there in drawing 3. Seriously, not this, not this. So yeah, so the New York data center, it has 3 machines. It has 3 machines, but we just added 2 hard disks there. We need to create a new data store here, which will still be a local storage. And our tasks right now were, so one is that, yeah, this one is done. So try to convert. This is not called converting. I mean, we haven't used PowerShell command, and we haven't. This is just deleting and adding a new hard disk with the thin provision option. But guys, one more thing. If I just quickly create, so there is another scenario. One scenario is that if you create a machine with thick provisioned as a default, this is one way to convert it to thin provision. So if I create a new machine, do I have an option at all to choose at that time, or did we went very fast at that time? So if I just quickly create a new virtual machine, just wanted, since we were talking about that option, we're gonna be testing these options, which will when we create a custom template, we will be getting that option later. So VM04, if I just reach that point where we are checking the hard disk options, is it going to offer us any that option of choosing which we want, thick provision or thin provision? So this is the virtual hardware. This is a new hard disk. So we were just going straight then and there, whatever the option was, next finish. We should have just gone through this and clicked the thin provision instead of. So yes, it was defaulting to this, and if we don't just try to do that ourselves, we should visit this at least just to the when we're creating blindly a machine, we should just go for this option, just to keep our disk space, instead of then later changing it back like this. Or if it happened and we have installed everything, so yes, this IOU, then I will have to get that step by step for how to convert a thick provisioned disk to a thin provisioned through PowerShell if you don't want to lose the data. Or is it even possible that you don't lose data and you convert thick to thin? Is it even possible? Okay, so this would be one assignment that we should take upon us. So I'll just add that to the troubleshooting page, troubleshootings and tests page, which I'm gonna send to you guys. Yeah, this. So what we needed to test. So can we convert a thick provisioned disk to a thin provisioned disk without losing data at all on a working VM? Yes. So procedure, please. and thank you very much. Okay, troubleshooting and tests. I'll just add this. Okay. There is a lot of theory coming, but just the basic tasks remaining today are, they're going to be done soon. So then we can go and check our environment and try to understand. No, Elmores, so there's a question there on powered on VM or powered off. So of course it should be powered off, but data should not be lost. Although we're gonna take a backup of that, but we don't have to restore that, right? The conversion just should do it from thick to thin without data loss. So we have installed OS applications and the client is actually working, but we want it to be converted to thin provision. So is it possible, although we're going to take a backup of that, or migrate the client and later do the machine, but instead for a working machine turned off, can we do that? So yeah, there's a comment in the chat. The command, we can test the command on Windows 8 install VM, right? Yeah, we can do that, definitely. So yes, we can try that. So then we can add this step to our Google group and send there, so everyone could try that as well. Let's just go ahead with the, I just wanted to reach the remote storage of NFS and remote storage with iSCSI. How to configure that? Those are also not very difficult. But once we do it, then we're going to be talking about that. Okay, then we did this, then we did that, and that's how it is done. So I'm just gonna go to the next step. So we have added 2 hard disks to ESXi02. We rescanned them, they are showing right now. We have also or deleted and added a disk which was already thick to thin. We added a thin one, but that remaining task is done. So 2 tasks are done. The third task is to create a data store in ESXi2 on the newly added 2 hard disks, right? So this would be our next task, to create a data store. I can just add it live here, create a data store, create a new data store, right? New data store to the newly added disks. Okay, let's go ahead and do that, and then we go for the remote storage as well. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to the web client, and we did add 2 hard disks. Now how to create or add a new data store to that? So the hard disks were added to the ESXi2. Just gonna go there, and they are showing as well. Yep, they are both showing. These 2 were added. Just ignore this one. You're gonna later understand what is this and why is it appearing, and it's appearing just to me and not you, right? So this is coming from the 2012 server. Okay, so these are the 2 disks, and I just want to go to the storage. So I'm just gonna click on the New York data center, which has only 1 host for now. Oh yeah, I was supposed to do that on the host, not the data center, right? Right click. There it is. Okay, it's still reaching. I need to increase the memory for this. So I'm just gonna add a new data store to the newly added hard disks. Okay, why it show 2 data store on ESXi2? So everyone who is following along or who have done the last exercises, you have just seen an extra data store for ESXi02. In my case, it is second one. In your case, it's one. In my case, it's second one because I created remote storage and tested on this as well as my practice environment just to check if both environments are working fine. So ignore that because we're going to be creating it now on the remote environment. Just have your third second member server second member server started in a moment after this lab. Okay, so I'm just creating on ESXi02 a new data store. So if you see two data stores for ESXi02, one I created as a practice, so ignore that please. Okay, so new data store, I hope everyone is, or those who are following now. So VMFS, which is the VMware file system. Then we're going to be also using NFS later, which over the network on our Windows 2012. So then it will be a remote storage. Okay, create a VMS data store on a disk or LAN. So next, name and device selection. So okay, ignore this. I'm gonna explain later. So there are two disks showing here. In my case, three disks showing. One is remote, and this is on Windows 2012. And we're gonna create it. Then we're gonna come back here and check it. But right now, if you have added alongside with me, then you should be seeing two disks added here, right? So I'm just gonna select the first one above one, and it has 100 GB. And I can go for data store 1 because I think data store 1 is already there. So I'm just gonna remove it and put data store 2 and selecting the disk 1, right? And click next. Yeah, the file system version which supports 2+ terabyte LAN support. So bigger LANs are on the SANs bigger than 2 terabyte LANs are supported by VMFS 5. So next, yep, we just want to use the full data store. Next, and okay, finished. So now we have another second data store. In my case, you're gonna see now, yeah, LAN is a logical unit number, which is the hard disk on the SAN device, and that hard disk is the storage which we remotely use. So right now, after this, we're going to be creating iSCSI. So remember, Athaya, so there's a chat a question from Athaya that what is LAN? So it's a logical unit number, or it is the storage that is offered by the SAN. If you remember the clustering lab, we created two hard disks, right? So those two hard disks are two LANs. So logical unit number or the storage which you offer, or the SAN device offers LANs remotely. So those LANs could be borrowed by virtual machines. In our case, when we did the clustering lab, those two LANs were used for our file servers. So if you had done that lab till the last, so we had those remote storage available, and we had created a shared folder on that remote storage, and then we crashed one machine, and the links for that LANs went to the second one. Yeah. Yes. So Fasi is saying it privately. So let me. So they are simply. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So they are simply hard disks on SAN server. Exactly. But they are offered by the SAN server to be borrowed by other servers, right? So right now, what we are creating data stores on local hard disks. But when we are creating data stores on remote hard disks, those are called LUNs, because iSCSI commands will be used on that, and it will be using iSCSI network. So those remotely available hard disks will be called LUNs. Right now, ESXi2, I've just created data store 2. Just ignore data store because I wanted to delete that. Oh, now I'm getting that option. Or not. If I go down, unmount data store. Okay. Okay, ignore this step which I'm doing now. This is just for another data store that I created in practice. Sorry for removing all those, but when you come back and do all those, then you will understand everything as well, and understand why I'm doing that. So data store 2 is created. So 2 hard disks added. Data store 2 created on one of the newly added hard disks, and now we're gonna just quickly add one more VM on the data store 2 and not on the data store 1, right? Since it's the local storage available for New York data center, and the only host available inside New York data center is ESXi02, so I'm just gonna create a new virtual machine by right clicking the host ESXi02 and going to new virtual machine, and create a new virtual machine, click next. And on ESXi02 we have already VM0456, so I'm just gonna go for VM07. It's on New York one. Then go next. Just want to use that data store 2, that's all. This will also tell us that okay, that data store is working fine if it takes. Okay, now there are those options of data store 1 and 2. So I'm just gonna go for 2 now. 1 has 33 GB remaining. 2 has 98 because it's a 100 GB hard disk, and we have used the full hard disk right now. So next, and ESXi 5.5 and later compatible with. We're not still doing the backward compatibility. And the Windows 8. Next. And there you go. Well, we need to visit at least the hard disk section. Thin provision. Next. And finish. So now we know that we have to always visit that section to put it on thin provision. In VMware Workstation, that was a bad habit we had, that next, finish, and we were always assuming, hey, it's thin provisioning anyway by default. Okay, so in ESXi it's the opposite. Okay, so now so local storage we can create. If the virtual machines are thick provisioned, we know one way of converting it to thin provision, and adding to hard disk, creating a new data store on any one of the hard disk, and then creating a virtual machine. So these are done. Let's go for the most awaiting feature, which is actually mainly working in virtual environments, the remote storage. There is that theory part that I'm going to try to cover now, but I want to give enough time for the labs so they could be finished on time as well. But a little intro to this. So if we go for type of data stores are logical containers. We just created data stores, right? And that hide specifics of each storage device and provide a uniform model for storing virtual machine files. And we're going to be talking about files, we're going to be talking about all those. Data stores can be used for storing ISO images, so that's what data stores do. And what we're about to create, that should also let us do this. So we're going to be creating a remote NFS. We're going to be creating and using a remote NFS share, right? So network file system. So the vSphere client uses the term data store exclusively. The term data store and VMFS or NFS, so virtual VMware file system and network file system, NFS. NFS is used by Linux and Windows by default or commonly. True or false? NFS is used by Linux and Windows commonly. True or false? So you can put it on chat. NFS is used by Windows and Linux both commonly, like every day by default. NFS is used by false, I guess. Okay, true or false? Not by default. So by default, which platform uses NFS by default? Yes, so NTFS is by default used by Windows. NFS is used by default by Windows. True or false? Okay, let's put it that way. NFS is used by Windows by default. True or false? So it definitely is false. Exactly, you're right. So in Windows, we're going to be enabling and we're creating a shared folder. Then we're going to be enabling it as a NFS shared folder. So any platform, any application that requires an NFS to create its files will be able to see that and reach that and use that, right? So VMware ESXi is can work on VMFS or can create its files like data store, virtual machine, these files, images on either MFS or NFS, right? VMFS or NFS. So we're going to create in Windows 2012 and a shared folder. We did not try it in our Windows lab, but we're going to try now this NFS, but this is very small steps are there, but the benefit now we're going to see is immense. So if you have some Windows machine just sitting there and you desperately want some shared folder for which can be reached by VMware or ESXi, you want to remotely put some virtual machine there or backups of virtual machines of ESXi, then you can quickly create a shared folder in Windows machine and enable it for NFS. So ESXi will be able to use that easily. We're going to do that now. But we were just talking about that this is a network file system which the VMware also uses because it's also Linux based. Not exactly Linux based, but they say that it's Linux commands are working there, but it has its own proprietary OS. How virtual machines access storage? Okay, that's a long story. So no, it's not a long story. Virtual machine disk hides the physical storage layer from the virtual machine's operating system. We get to know that there is a ESXi layer, and above that is virtual machine. We installed same for Hyper-V, right? And then the virtual machine is talking to the kernel, and then relaying all the commands that virtual machine above is trying to execute. So the virtual disk appears to the virtual machine as a mounted SCSI device. As a result, you can run operating systems. When a virtual machine communicates with its virtual disk, stored on a data store. Okay, till now what we have created, the data store, and over the data store we have created virtual machines. It issues SCSI commands because data stores can exist on various types of physical storage. So if we look at the next diagram, are you able to see that clearly? Okay, now, sorry. So virtual machines, this still is a little fuzzy. Virtual machines, we till now what we have been doing is doing a local storage, this one, and then there's that fiber channel SAN we're talking about. Then there's iSCSI, which is on our local Ethernet that we can use remote storage, which we are gonna do now as well. There's that software initiator, and then there is that, and then virtual machine Ethernet link. So this is NFS. So right now there's a four types of storages that can be used. Virtual machine on a local storage, which is offering a virtual VMware file system, VMFS. Right now what we are using is a local storage, and of course the ESXi is installed there, so it's using VMFS or VMware file system, right? This is what we're doing right now, and till now we have done fiber channel. I plan to gather millions of dollars later. Then I'm gonna set up this environment at home, and okay, just kidding. I was just looking at Samosa link as well. So fiber channel, those big companies have those all the setup done, and they have this speed of light. It's not speed of light, but Shahid isn't. Yeah, so for fiber channel, okay, cool. So there's that big companies have fiber channel network, which is very fast, and you need to have all that equipment installed, the fiber channel FC switch, and fiber channel NICs on the servers. So you have to order that. When you're ordering a server, you have to order that equipment as well, which is very expensive. So then we come to the poor man SAN. So there is a SAN network. When you have a Windows 2012, you can just convert it into a SAN machine. We know that, we did that. So this is what we are trying to do today. We're gonna be creating on Windows 2012, although it is saying VMFS here, but we're not. It's going to be a Windows 2012 machine, and we're going to be using because it's going to be iSCSI target server. So VMware will be able to communicate with this remote storage on Windows 2012, and this, which we're about to do now, which is virtual machine created on an NFS share, or network file system share, which could be anyone has used NAS appliance before. So if you go to market and get that network attached storage or external drives, an enclosure with 2, 4, 6, 8 drives, a pair of 4 drives if there are total 8 drives, and then they are paired because of the mirroring and remote. You just attach it to the network, and there's a NIC also with that enclosure available, so you could just attach it to a cable, and that's it. It's a network attached storage, so over the network, but it is NFS. You could VMware could also create its files, and you can just upload other files as well by enabling other file system if it supports that. Any NAS device you can have, or convert your Windows 2012. Okay. Okay, sure. There was a message, private message. So I'm just saying, okay, sure. Okay. This is NFS or NAS appliance. So let's just start doing the NFS. And if I click more, so we were doing just the local storage till now, and we can, this local storage, there are these technologies that support this. I'm just gonna send you this slide. So SATA supported SAS controllers include this models and versions. So I'm just gonna send those this slide as well. Local storage, there's a it is, when you install it, ESXi, it is VMFS store, data store, but its local storage is still SPOF, or single point of failure. That's what we're gonna get rid of now. So we're gonna just install this. NFS is a file sharing protocol that ESXi hosts use to communicate with a NAS device. So we're gonna convert our Windows 2012 into a NAS device, or network attached storage. NAS is a specialized storage device that connects to a network and can provide file access services to ESXi hosts, right? So let's go there and try to convert our Windows 2012 server to a NAS device by enabling a shared folder with NFS, right? So this is our next task, and those who have 3 machines now, we can use, you know, the 3 Windows machines and 2 ESXi machines. Till now we had total of 4 machines. Now the 5th machine can be used, but you know, I have already tested that with another machine. But if you cannot start this machine, okay, 5-minute break. Okay. Oh, 8:20. There's a request for 5-minute break. So before we start this, okay, let's have a 5-minute break, and then we can start with this. So can you please start your 5th machine or the server 03, so we can then carry on, right? So there's a 5-minute break right now. So 5-minute break. Please start your second member server. We will do NFS and iSCSI. Config. So again, resuming the video now. Okay, so enable what I just wrote now is enable NFS feature in Windows, and then create new folder, share it with NFS, and from the vCenter then we're gonna create a data store inside that NFS shared folder, and then create a VM on that data store just to check everything if it is working fine or not. Okay, what was going on here in the chat? Resume, not resume, resume window, video window. Okay, I really need some water or something now. I should have used those 5 minutes. Then I'm reading the next chat comment, which is, should the 3rd Windows server be member of domain 2? Yes, it should be a member server, but it's not necessary. It's not compulsory. No, for iSCSI, the second lab, okay, for NFS maybe not, but for the iSCSI, yes. So better to just go ahead and make it a member server, right? Yes, I resumed the video now. Thank you. And the chat comment I'm still reading, server 03 means server SAN. Exactly, server SAN is what we decided to call it, and during the start of the lab. So server SAN is what we're going to start, which I'm also referring to as server 03, but it is server SAN. Okay, so NFS share feature enabling and everything. So let's just follow these steps now, and so I'm just gonna Control C, and before I send this slide to you guys, I'm just gonna put that live here. I usually just start, because I just wrote the steps, so I don't have to later do that. Okay, all the steps are there, and let's just follow these for NFS shared folder. Okay, I'm just gonna follow these steps now. Let's go to server SAN or server 3 in my case. Uh, so what I need to do is first enable the feature in Windows 2012 for the NFS. So for that, I'm going to go to the dashboard and I'm going to go to add roles and features. Guys, one more thing. I think I need to create that drawing as well. So if the share name is NFS share or NFS dash share, which we're going to create a folder, then we're going to try to create a new data store on this share, and then we're gonna try to create, so it's on the ESXi new VM on this data store. So everything will be basically be storing in, we're going to be putting everything on NFS share, so Windows member server will be so this is overall is the NAS lab, we can say. So we are converting our Windows machine into a network attached storage, right? So this is one of the scenarios. Okay, let's go ahead. If there are any questions, let me know. So what I was doing, I'm just gonna redo that. On the server SAN or on the server 03, I'm going for dashboard. If you cannot start the 5th server, you can also do it on domain controller. I don't think it's going to, cause any problem. But anyway, so dashboard, add roles and features, next, until we reach the roles window, then down there it's file and storage services, right? So let's go and check those services. So again, it's add roles and features, and then go to till you reach the roles window, and then go for file and storage services. Then just keep expanding file and iSCSI services. Although I want to just for now do this lab server for NFS, so I click and this window will pop up, and just click add features. So I've just selected server for NFS, but I would recommend that let's just add the other iSCSI target server and iSCSI target storage provider as well. These two I'm also going to click with this, and whatever pop-up window comes at, I'm just going to click that as well. So click this iSCSI target server, because this is the second lab. This is the first lab, this is the second. These two will be helping in the second lab. So if I click this, so I have just selected all three instead of just one, while the first lab is about just this service, right? So let's just select these three, because we're going to come back again to select these two. So I'm just selecting all these three, right? So two ways to remotely use the storage. The professional way, or the way everyone is doing it through iSCSI, but this NFS shared folder can also serve a lot of purposes, or it can be very useful in a VMware environment as well, whenever VMware wants to have a shared folder over the network. So the usage which we're gonna have is to create a data store, but remember we wanted to have an ISO of Windows 8, so we can just put the ISO of Windows 8 here as well, and remotely virtual machine can grab from here as well, right? Anyway, whatever file you want to share, you can just put it here, and VMware, wow, share here VMware, it rhymes, cool. Anyway, so yeah, it will just check that out and it can see that. Next, nothing on the features, the pop-up window about the features, we just click add features, so already what was needed is selected. Let's go next. Click restart always. If it wants to restart, it will, otherwise it will not restart. Click install. So We've just added 3 features here, so that will help us complete 2 labs. One is for NAS, one is for iSCSI. Then we're going to talk about everything we have done till now, one by one, all the features, and some quizzes. Right now, who's following along with me? Can you put it on chat? Like me, me. So, if you're okay, there's one me, one I. Oh, okay. Me is just from Elborz, so still one guy. God. So you can can't find it. iSCSI. Okay, my installation is done, so I just can go back, add roles and features, sure, and go next 3 times until you reach the roles window, and then go for file and storage, file and iSCSI. Are you seeing this? Once you expand that, these are the 3 options you need to select: server for NFS, iSCSI target storage, iSCSI target server. So you got it. So this is it. Just click next, and okay, cool, thanks. So cancelling out from here. Okay, so 2 guys are just following. Mohammed, you're not. Mohammed Mashdali, you're not following. Utaya, you're not following. Chandra, Ali, Fasi, Jamshid. Are you guys following along, or sit back and enjoy the show? Oh yes. But at least you should be asking questions. But it would be better if you're following up with me, or at least send me the screenshots if you're doing it at home, or it's just sit back and enjoy the whole course. Okay, so no virtual samosa for you. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So let's go ahead, and now I'm going to. So we have enabled. Oh, okay. So Mohammed, for Wednesday, please try to have that ready. Thank you. Okay, others as well, please try to have your labs ready, and we can go along with that. And I try to have 2 screens, 2 monitor screens as well. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm just gonna create. I have added that NFS feature. I'm just gonna go to the File Explorer, go to the C drive, and simply create a new folder inside the C drive, or I can add a new hard disk even for that, which I'm gonna do that for iSCSI. But here I'm just creating a new folder in the C drive. Otherwise, if there's a huge amount of stuff I want to do, or create lots of virtual machines and add, place them on this on this shared folder, NFS share, then I would just go and add a new 1 TB drive, create one NFS shared folder or more, and dedicate them for one NFS shared folder for virtual machine saving, second for ISOs for VMware, third for something else that VMware can reach. So it could be a full-fledged file server offering the extra storage that VMware need for anything we want. So right now it will be NFS-share, I'm naming it, and right click. So first we name it something. Oh yeah, thanks moment. Okay, good shot. So you did it on a domain controller, which is also okay. Yeah, I wanted someone actually to do it on the. Okay, so NFS share. Right click there. Once you create that, then go to properties, and if you have added that feature or that role of NFS sharing, then you would see this tab here on any shared folder you create inside the Windows. Okay, so I'm just gonna click right. I've right clicked the NFS sharing, went to the properties, and now I go to the NFS sharing. Here, I'm just going to. I want to see the network path, and if it is shared or not. So for that, I'm just gonna go to manage NFS sharing, and obviously we're just going to share this folder, so check this box, share this folder. Second thing is, this is not all, keep all the default options enabled and checked. We're gonna go straight down to the permissions, and in the permissions we need to make sure that of course any machine can access this share. Second thing, I want the it should not be read only for those machines, so it will be, I'm just gonna change it down here to read write. This is important. You have to put it read and write. And also what's important is allow root access, main access. So it's like everyone share read and write when we go to Windows permissions. So this shared folder should have read and write permission and root access for anything that's trying to access this shared folder. So make sure that these two settings are done. Then I'm going ahead now, press OK. Let me know if I'm going fast. Okay, so shared folder, permissions, all machines are already selected. Just go for read and write and allow root access. If I click add, I can add just names here. Okay, add clients and client groups, so I can just add groups. Anyway, I'm not adding anything right now. Read and write for the already selected one and allow root access. That's all. Okay, press OK, press apply. Okay, so this is my NFS share path, and this is the server 3 in my case. Try to remember this, guys, or just copy it somewhere, right? So server 3, we're gonna be putting it when we're creating a data store inside the vCenter. We're gonna be putting this information, NFS share with the / and the server 03. It would want to know the name of the server and the share name or folder name. So okay, so close. Let's click close here. We have done these steps on the Windows side. Now we can go back to the vCenter, and we're gonna create a new data store for any of the hosts, and we're gonna give the path for this server. So I'm going to just make it full screen again. Okay, so I already have local storage for ESXi02, so I'm just gonna go for ESXi01, and I would want to add a new data store for ESXi01 on this newly created NFS share in the Windows 2012 machine, right? So right click, ESXi01, and new data store here. Okay, next. This time it's gonna be NFS, so not VMFS, because it's not an ESXi server. So we're just going to be using a network attached storage, which always has a network file system share over the network. So NFS, we're gonna select the second one, and then next. So this data store name, data store NFS. I'm just gonna put data store NFS 01, and there you go. The server name, which I was just saying there, just try to remember that or copy somewhere. So in my case it's server 03, but I'm gonna just put fqdn. So server 03.vmware domain. In your case, it's my domain.local, so keep it, just try to remember, don't copy me. I already created that environment, so it's VMware domain.local for me, but you can go ahead and put the my domain.local, like the full server name, your full server name. In your case, if you're doing on server 1, so server 1 dot, your domain name. So fqdn for that, and I just needed to check that out, but I think it was / the share name was / NFS-share, I would want to double check that if this is the correct information. So I'm just going to go back quickly to server 03 and right click the NFS share here, go to properties and go to NFS sharing here tab, and there you go. The path and the syntax goes like this: / NFS dash share, and it is server 03. But if I want to look at the FQDN as well, local server 03 VMware not local. Okay, this gives me the full information. Okay, so VM0 server 02 / NFS dash share. Okay, seems good. I think everyone is understanding at least. So click next, nothing more here, just put the name of the data store, the name of FQDN of the server on which the NFS share is available, and the NFS share path or the actual name. Next, validating and validated. NFS share and access mode. So this is the server name, this is the share name, and the read and write permission is there, which we gave there. So click finish. I hope nobody got the error or any error. So now it says here now on the right side, create NAS data store. So it's in the process now. All right, so we have a new data store created. Okay, cool. Oh, it's done already. Like, should have been done first on my. Okay, so I'm just gonna quickly create on this new data store on the Windows 2012 machine. I'm gonna create a new virtual machine on that new data store. Let's do that. So I'm still on ESXi01. Right click the ESXi01 and now this time go to the new virtual machine. Okay, again create a new virtual machine. And this is our, okay, so we have created I've created VM 4, 5, 6, 7 on ESXi2, VM 1, 2, 3 on 01. So I'm just gonna go for the next sequential. VM 08 will be on, ESXi1. You know what? Yeah, okay, VM 08, and it's on the Toronto data center, already selected. Click next. Okay, the compute resource would be ESXi01. Next, and there you go, the storage is showing there, and it has free space of 90 gigs. If you're doing it some other environment, make sure your hard disk is good. Data store NFS01, just select this, which we just created, and add it to our ESXi01. And next, 5.5, next. No, it's NFS. No, it's not VM NFS, it's just NFS. Sure. On the chat, I'm looking at the comment. But where are you seeing this option? Are you seeing it? Oh, here, yeah. So it is, type is NFS. It's not VMS5. Oh, the name. Well, machine name is VM08, and we have already created the data store name. But data store name, you could, whatever you put there, it's okay. I mean, as long as it's unique data, unique name. Data store NFS01 and NFS. So yeah. Next, 5.5. All right, go for Windows 8, and the next, the usual procedure. I would want to check the space there, so I'll keep this hard disk space to 32 gigs of drive. In fact, I'll just I just want to put it on thick instead of. Oh, seriously? I can't. It's grayed out. On NFS, I can't. Serious? Is that so? If I go click browse and change the data store and check. Okay, data store 1, which is on VMFS. Press OK. Hey, all the options are here now. Thick provision by default. But if I go to NFS, so NFS of course is not going to give advanced options or all the options that VMFS 5, which is for VMware, a file system created especially for VMware. That's gonna give more option. NFS will give less options. It's gonna let it create, but many of the features will be not available. So we should think what that should we create those machines there or not, or is so this storage is still good for temporarily if you're need a storage to do some operations that VMware can access some shared folder to put files there that it want to reach later, or just create virtual machines without if you don't want to play with the features as well, right? But now we do see that thick and thin changing was not available, so we do guess that okay with NFS, although there's a list that what features are not available, and it's always good to have it stored on a VMFS 5 file system. Of course it's gonna offer more features, right? But let's just go ahead and use that now. I wanted to create thick provisioning, but we see that NFS does not offer that option. That's okay. So next and finish. So VM8 is being created on NFS share, although it does support creating that machine. If some of the features are not available, then when we were trying to do vMotion or storage motion, those features definitely we're not going to be trying on that. We're just trying to use this NFS share, so we have another extra option of storage that okay temporarily we want to do something or we don't want to have those to change those features later. We can just keep using this NFS as well, or network attached storage. Okay, so VM8 is being created right now on an NFS share. Yeah, it is thin provisioning VM08. So I tried to actually I wanted to convert it or to select the thick provisioning. Let me just check if it is thick or thin. So if I go to those options there, VM hardware, and go click edit, it should at least mention here thick or thin, but anyway we have to go to edit and do that. Yeah, it is thick. Yeah, I tried to change it. I wanted to. So during the deployment, I couldn't. Can I now? So it is thick provisioned, and the only way what we did before that. So let me try that even. Close. So delete this the files from. So I'm just removing the hard disk and pressing OK. And let it do, and then I'm just gonna try to convert it to thin. Just wanted to test that if NFS would ever support changing from thick to thin. So this is about to be done, so I'm just gonna do that same procedure of adding again. Okay, now I'm gonna click add it again and try to do the and so I'm just gonna add a new hard disk now. Just testing the NFS share. New hard disk. Actually it was thick provisioning and I wanted to see if the NFS share got populated. Of course it did, but just wanted to see that. new hard disk, add, and also checking if it does support changing options. Hey, guess what? No way it's going to. NFS is not going to support at all. Changing from whatever to whatever. At least when it comes to provisioning, it's not going to. Yeah. So NFS is not supposed to, because it's not made for that, right? So I'm just gonna. Oh, I should have created the hard disk anyway. Go next, next, next. No, we did that before, right? With on VMFS, we were changing those hard disks, so that is not the case with NFS. And it should not, definitely. Press OK. So VMFS and NFS, definitely there's a clear difference. And of course there is a difference. VMFS is supposed to offer all the features, while NFS is just a, it's not made for just VMware. So it's a network file system. Linux also uses that. It's an open standard, while VMFS is proprietary, right? Okay, is that NFS source? Okay, let's check it out. Where? So I'm just following the chat comments as well. Maybe there's something that could be done for. Provisioned and so there's storage policy, shares, virtual node. Not from here. Yeah. No, once created, it's gonna go there by default. I'm just answering the chat options. Okay, this was NFS. And one more thing, if I just put an ISO there, or is it a real share folder that can be accessed from anywhere inside the virtual machines? If I go to edit settings, excuse me. Okay, sorry, I had a cough. So everyone would have just like that. So I muted. Okay, what I wanted to see here was, can I just map that shared folder or see that shared folder? Suppose there's a ISO there and I want to access that ISO and mount it to my CD drive. So I would want to give the path there. Data store ISO file. It's just saying data store. It's gonna select or load any of the available data stores. I need to still map that path. I need to give a network path for NFS. For that, so these are the data stores, right? Cancel out, and there's the browse. Click one more time. All files. Cancel. How can I? So this is the host device and client device. So device mode, virtual device node. If I go for one more try. No, not here. Pastor CD-ROM, emulate CD-ROM. Nope. So if I want to give the path, can I give that path from here? Host device, power. Okay. Not quite. Not from here, but we need to add that as well. Okay, we're gonna just check that option later, but I just wanted to check if I you can see where from in the same area you can see how that you can give the path to NFS share. I can edit that. Oh, okay, from browse. Sorry, in the CD-ROM. Oh, why would I go there? Connected, power on. Which one? Okay, I kind of not from data store. Anyway, so we would need that screenshot. Okay, from browse, but yeah, we can see the data store. No, I was just saying we can directly if we want to see the NFS share for to get the ISO, but we need to throw. So it's going to be still only data through data store that VMware could be reaching anything, right? Yeah, yeah, okay. There's that. Yeah, I understand. I was just trying to directly see that. Okay, VM images. But yeah, when we put that ISO file there, so I'm just gonna try to next time I'm going to try to put that ISO file there. Then we can just try to access that. Okay, iSCSI. This is also not a very long lab when it comes to Windows 2012. So what we're going to do for setting up the iSCSI, which is the main shared storage that runs all the SCSI commands that VMware understands and which our machines understand those commands. So what we're going to do is we're going to be adding one HDD and then create virtual SCSI disk on it. So this will be the second lab on the Windows server, and then configure it and give IP addresses of both ESXi servers for initiators. And configure both hosts to access this hard disk, this slash HDD. So this is one hard disk that's we're going to add a new hard disk we're going to add on Windows 2012, and then we're going to already we have the iSCSI server role installed, so we're going to create a virtual disk on this iSCSI on this new hard disk, and then we're going to add the IP addresses of the two ESXi servers that that are going to access remotely this hard disk, and then we're going to try to create a data store on that new hard disk, and then create a new virtual machine on that data store just to check if everything's working fine, right? But this is a different procedure, so there is these steps to be done on the Windows server side, and then here on the ESXi side inside the vCenter for each host we have to add the in the initiators we have to add the target server IP address, then rescan the new HDDs. So we're going to be rescanning the new hard disks. then rescan the new HDDs. Okay. Then create a new data store on this HDD. Create a new VM on this data store. Okay, so this procedure is different, of course. We're gonna still see what features are available, and while creating a virtual machine, as in NFS, we saw that some of the features are not available. So Windows side tasks are these, and then the E6 side tasks are these. Let's start with first adding a new hard disk. So this will be the SAN that we are creating. So this will be that Windows 2012 SAN. This could have been OpenFiler. We could have used the OpenFiler software. We could have used the StarWinds software as well. And there may be other software, but Windows 2012 itself offers this. So why don't we try to use that and check it out? Okay, let's go ahead. I'm just gonna go to the Windows 2012 now. In my case, it's a Server 03, and you could use domain controller for that. I don't recommend, but I don't think there should be any problem. So go ahead and use domain controller if you don't have the third machine. Okay, so we have already installed that iSCSI feature or role when we were installing the NFS role. Now let's add a new hard disk to our server. So I'm just gonna go right click the virtual machine, go to the settings. So this is as if you're adding a new hard disk for the SAN server. So click add here, go to hard disk in VMware Workstation, press next, create a new virtual disk. I'm just gonna put it on 300. Yeah, we have huge space, huge. No, it's just in provisioning, that's why. If I allocate this, then I'm gonna get an error. So since it's in provisioning, I'm just putting 300. So this at least 299 will be showing there everywhere in the vCenter. We would know right away. Oh, this is the iSCSI one. Okay, next and finish. So there's a 300 GB new hard disk added. It needs to be initiated, right? Bring online and initiate it. So I'm just gonna go for file and storage here, and go for disks. New disk will be showing here in 2012. This is offline. Right click, bring online, press yes. It's gonna be a GPT or GUID partitioning table, which supports bigger partitions and larger disks. So right click again and new volume, next. Server 3 disk 1, yeah, next. Yeah, it is going to be initiated as a GPT disk. Okay, press OK. 300 GB full, yeah, partition it as full 300 GB and give it drive letter this. I'll just volume label it as iSCSI because I'm dedicating it to this iSCSI. Next. So just put the volume there, that's all, nothing else is. Okay, close. Now it is so we have our new hard disk formatted. If I want to put it to full screen and then go down to, oh, NFS is still open, okay, and go down and check how many hard disks I have. Okay, there's that new created E drive, nothing inside, so close this. Still on the same screen in file and storage services, I'm just gonna go to iSCSI area now, this one, and in the iSCSI area we need to create iSCSI virtual disk, and this is the first one. So I'm just gonna click here and I'm just gonna choose a second just newly created hard disk, 300 GB will be to create the iSCSI virtual disk on, and this iSCSI virtual disk will be can be called as LUN, or a disk that we can offer to any other server. that needs it, right? So next, we're just gonna name it Windows iSCSI. Next, no, I don't want it to be fixed size. I'm just gonna put it on dynamically expanding here, but I'm just gonna still have to put the size there, so I'm just gonna put 300 GB full size, whatever is available, but it should be dynamically expanding. So the virtual disk should also be thin provisioned. Next, it's a new iSCSI target. So SCSI targets, you always need to have a target server for the clients to really access. So the servers which requires the disk or which needs to borrow the disk from the SAN device, they have iSCSI initiators here. So they are requesting, so initiators are configured there, and the target server, iSCSI target server, is the one that is offering the disk. So in this is the target server which will be offering the disk. So new iSCSI target, we're gonna just keep it selected and click next, and again same name, Windows iSCSI. Okay, the name is same. Next, who are the initiators? We need to tell this target server. This is also for security measure, that not all, we just can't blindly offer it to every server that asks for the disk, asks to borrow the disk from the server. So we're gonna tell this target server, hey, these are the initiators who will be requesting the disk. So you're not gonna see this IQN because I've already added for ESXi 2, so that's why it's appearing here. Otherwise, let's just start with this. So just click this, enter a value for the selected type. There are 4 ways that we can put the information of those servers which are going to request the hard disk from this server. So we can put their IQN number, which is a special number that had, this is IQN number here. So it is just mentioning the name of the server and the special request number, that, or the that number is given on the every initiator window, that this is coming from this server, the name of that server, and part of the MAC address. So this is just an information about the same server, but we can go easy on that and nor full MAC address or nor the FQDN. We're just gonna go for IP address of these 2 servers. So I'm just gonna click the IP address and put the IP address of the first one. 192.168.100.3 is the ESXi01. So I'm gonna press OK and then click add again. Okay, and then I'm just gonna put the IP address of the second ESXi server. Press OK. It is getting IQN because I've added it again. In your case, it should be getting IP address. I think it is getting IP address for anyone else, right? That's why I need people to select the IP field. Oh, did I not? Oh, that's why. Okay, thanks for this. Can I remove that? Oh, I can. Cool. Sorry. Yeah, I thought I did. So thank you for this correction. 192.168.100.4 and press OK. Alright, now we got it. Good. So these are the only servers that are allowed to borrow a disk from this target server. These will be initiators, or they will initiate the request. Hey, can I have your disk please? Thank you very much. So this target server can only give it to these 2. Okay, next, if we need extra security, if the request is from the initiator, if you want to double check if those are the guys I'm supposed to give, or from this server. So both ways, if you want reverse chap or enable chap, challenge handshake authentication protocol chap is just for extra security, right? But we know that it's pretty secure here. Nobody's coming for our machine, so we're just gonna skip that. Click next and create. So we allowed two servers. So first we created the hard disk, we added the new hard disk, then we created a virtual SCSI disk over that newly created hard disk by utilizing the full size of the hard disk, and then we ran to the wizard and allowed only two servers, which are the iSCSI servers, to access this disk only, right? So I'm just gonna click close now, and our iSCSI disk from the Windows side, we have done all the stuff. Now we need to see this 300 GB disk showing inside the vCenter for both these hosts. So now the ESXi side of the work starts, and how do we do the initiating? How do we enable the initiators? So I'm just gonna go for ESXi 01 host. Just putting it to full screen. So in ESXi 01 host, I am going to the storage, because it is we're going to be requesting a storage, a remote storage, that is, and we already have the local storages available here. In fact, yeah, so local storages are available, and we're going to be asking or requesting a remote storage, and for that we're going to be adding a new adapter. So I'm just gonna be going for storage adapters here. This storage adapter will help us do the initiating, or it will offer us the option of clicking the initiator and putting that information of selecting or requesting the target. So although we have already the adapters by default installed there, but we're just going to add a new adapter just to see how the whole system, how all thing works and how it looks like. So I'm just gonna click plus here. So, and this is software iSCSI adapter. So there should be a mechanism to request a hard disk, right? So this software iSCSI adapter will offer that option to request those that remote LAN or remote hard disk. So software iSCSI adapter, I'm just gonna click here. A new software iSCSI adapter will be added to the list. Yes, press OK. Just press OK after clicking the plus sign. Press OK. Now that iSCSI adapter, when it gets added, it's going to give us the option to put the IP address of the target server. That's the option we need from the adapter, storage adapter. We're going to be talking about storage and the concepts and these tabs, but once we have gone through these steps and we get to know that what we have achieved, understanding the theory would be easier. Okay, there is that new adapter just added, which is iSCSI software adapter. So if you click that, so it is offering these options of devices, paths, targets. This is something if we remember the previous lab, if a clustering lab, these were the options also being offered by the initiator software inside the built-in Windows 2012. But anyway, so this is iSCSI software adapter. It's going to actually have that feature to request those hard disks, that hard disk from the target server or any SAN device. This is the way that it requests. So there's a dynamic discovery that it can automatically try to discover, and then there is that static discovery where we can just put the target name, iSCSI server. So let's just click add to quickly see that result of do we have a communication with that target server. Before doing that, I would want to check if the firewall is not on server 03 or the SAN server. So I'm just going to click there and go to the local server and make sure the firewall is off. Okay, just double checking. Okay, so this is just for ESXi01 for now, and then I'm gonna go for that too as well. So here, ESXi server, storage adapters, iSCSI software, the card clicked, the new adapter added, then targets, then static discovery, click add. So it is asking for the iSCSI server name, the port is already there, and iSCSI target name. So if I just wait a minute, guys, so cancel out, and if I go for dynamic discovery, click the dynamic discovery here. If I click add here, just wanted to check one thing. See there, so it is asking just for the if I cancel out and click add again for FQDN name or IP, right? So let's just go for first the easiest way. Otherwise, iSCSI target name, we have to just go there and check that and put that there as well, which is also not a big deal. But let's just go for the least options just to check if it really works or not. So I'm just going. What I've done is I've just clicked the dynamic discovery and click add, which just requires us the least information of giving the FQDN of that server or the IP. I'm just gonna go for the easiest one, the IP address 192.168.100. In my case, it's 5. In your case, if it's the domain controller, go for the 100.1, and I'll just double check. Yeah, it is 5. Okay, come back here. Okay, 5. The port is 3260, which is going to be the port to access the iSCSI target server. So press OK here. Okay, let's see what happens now. I hope there is no error, because this server now has initiated the request of borrowing the 300 GB disk to be used here as if it was a local disk, local storage. Let's see if we do get that disk here. Add internet SCSI send targets. So it's just trying to add that iSCSI virtual disk 300 GB. I hope it is working smooth till now for those who are following along. Okay, there's a message here. Due to recent configuration changes, a rescan of this storage adapter is recommended, which is a good idea. Whenever we edit a storage, whether local storage, NFS storage, or now this storage, it has always required us to rescan. So there is that refresh, and this is the rescan. Okay, rescan actually thoroughly goes through all the storage devices and renews the connection. So I'm just going to rescan right after this. So it's going to scan for new storage devices, scan for new VMFS volumes. So press OK. Let's see if that 300 GB hard disk shows up, and we're going to be seeing it actually here in storage devices, but I just wanted this process to finish and then go there and check. Okay, 0% rescan storage. Okay, so it's after rescan, it's refreshing the page as well. It's just too fast. Done. So let's check it out. Storage devices. Does it show anything? Oh, okay. Back to storage adapters. I just need to check the device here as well in the devices area. Yeah, MSFT, Microsoft disk, and 299, 300 GB. That's the device that I was looking for. Hardware solution not supported. Drive type non SSD. It is it is SSD, but anyway, well, the physical disk is SSD, but here it's not showing. So devices should be showing this. Targets is already showing the correct IPs, and devices is showing the correct size. This is the disk name that's gonna appear. Does it appear here? Yep. In storage devices now it appears there as well. 299. Okay, so we have now, apart from the local storage of 3 disks, one shared folder with as a NAS storage, remote storage, and now we have the iSCSI or SAN storage as well. So let's quickly, okay, can I add this same storage to the second host as well? My SSD, how big is my SSD? It's 500 GB only. And the free space is like 20 GB left. Okay, so but it's thin provisioning. No problemo. Well, since you asked, so if I go for storage, oh, 16 GB left. See, still more than 15 GB. Nice. Okay, anyway, so let's go for maybe let's not go for anyway, yeah, this is just requesting the same iSCSI storage. So I'm going to A6i02. I'm just gonna repeat those steps, or do I have to repeat those steps? Why is it showing here 199? Okay, if I go to storage adapters here, so storage adapter, they're already on this server. When you add a storage adapter, this both the data center got that connection. So if I go click I didn't have to do it here because once I went through the first data center or first host to add the storage adapter, this storage adapter is automatically showing here as well, because uh, the two data centers, it just got that setting through vCenter from to the second storage as well. I go to the target, it is already added there. Why is it already added or not? So the target is not showing here, but the iSCSI software adapter is showing there, although it's a totally different host there. So if I click here and check the settings, yes, and devices, so it is operational dead or not. So let me just grab that, dead or error. So let me just simply add that. I just wanted to see what's configured, what is not configured. So yeah, it's not added there automatically, definitely, because target is not given there, it's just showing there, right? Let's just make this section clear. If I refresh this screen, the whole information should just go away. Oh, activate Windows, come on. It should not be added there automatically. You're right, Alphonse. On the chat, there's a comment. It's not even showing there to you. Okay, because I was inside. I was thinking, huh? Why is it showing there? But above, I was looking for a reason. What? But when we did our clustering lab, of course, we had to just add it to both sides. So I'm just refreshing the whole thing. Maybe the browser has its illusions to show that it's kind of that you see it from far away in the desert and it's a water. When you go towards it, it's just not there. Okay, anyway, I'm just refreshing that, and I really need to increase the RAM for this. Come on, seriously. Go ahead. Yeah, so the target, I just needed to add the target, that's all. So if you're there, you could just go ahead and add the target IP there and just refresh. Oh, seriously, I should not have refreshed that. That's why I have my other emergency client ready. vSphere client. Oh, what's open here? Oh, okay. Close. And let's get back to the web client. Oh, wow. It's in shock now. Why did you do that? Okay. Reload this page again or what? Health status monitoring. Nothing going on. Okay, refresh again. There should be some, um, music going on in the background as well, and or I could just drag that samosa screen here while it's loading, so we could have like some freshness. Oh, seriously? See, that's why browsers are okay. What about this internal one? I love to press buttons, right? Uh, okay, so one day it's going to appear. Maybe I need to just close it and just open it again. Okay, closing it and just going to open. Last time also it worked. So vSphere web client. Well, when we do hands-on, we get to know a lot of moods of different browsers. I'm just sticking to Chrome. Yeah, I should have tried Explorer as well. Okay, there's a message. My VM's on VMware Workstation automatically will not shut down after some minutes. NE. My laptop is haunted. Oh yeah. So that's the technical reason you just came up with. I was gonna just say the same thing. The one technical reason is your laptop is haunted. Administrator at vSphere.local and okay, so we have like if it freezes up and you're desperate to see the result or your boss is just standing over your shoulder, so you would just close the browser, try to do that again. Otherwise vSphere uh, client, okay, it's back. See, so it freezes up. Wow. We just get to see so many moods of browser based, but I should put Internet Explorer to test as well later. What I wanted to the ESXi02 was, I think it should open the same page. Yep, it is opening the same page. So I'm just gonna quickly add the targets to the so I'm just gonna click that same iSCSI software adapter, go to the targets and just quickly add and not just play around anymore. Click add, put the same IP 192.168.100.5 in my case, press OK, and let's just see how it goes. So now it's a shared storage, right? One disk being shared to two iSCSI. So let's just check it out. The process is going on and it should be showing here in my vSphere client as well. Yeah, down here. Oh, it's not. Oh, there it is. Okay, it's going on right now. Oh, completed actually. Really? Alright, let's just go back and check the web client. Oh yes, cool. So if this is showing here, if I go to the devices here, That's gonna pop up Microsoft disk or not. Oh, I need to rescan, sorry. So rescan button here, and it's gonna rescan, press OK. And then, well, it's just another wait. But if I go back in progress here in the vSphere client, rescan all HBAs, in progress, rescan VMFS, and completed. Okay, go back. Oh, was there something changed? Oh, okay, tasks were completed. So yep, the Microsoft disk is showing here as well. If I go to the storage devices, now ESXi 1 and 2 both are showing the same storage Microsoft disk. So I'll just try to quickly create. I'm just gonna go back to ESXi 01, and then now let's try to quickly create a data store on the SCSI drive, right? So I'm just gonna click on ESXi 01, right click and click new data store. So we tried that on local storage, then we tried it on NFS storage, now we're trying it on iSCSI storage. Let's click next. Since it's a newly added hard disk, I should not add any more sizes to that. So now I'm just gonna go for VMFS, not NFS, right? Create a VMFS data store on disk LUN. So this is LUN, logical unit numbers, because it supports iSCSI commands, SCSI commands, and SCSI is the communication of SAN. So I'm just going for VMFS. So if it's supporting VMFS, this means all the features should be available. Let's just see and check it out. Okay, so there's our 300 gigs hard disk, Microsoft. So yes, on this hard disk, not on the local storage, but on this hard disk, create the data store. And this data store, let's just change the name for data store as well. This data store is dash iSCSI. So now we know that one data store is created on local storage, second data store is created on NFS shared folder, and the third data store is created on iSCSI, which supports VMFS. Yeah, that's why I had. So there's another comment. That's why I had extra HDD. Of course, I have to try it first before starting in the class. So, but I forgot to remove it. So, okay, you discovered. Next, and VMS5 latest one that supports 2 terabyte, bigger than 2 terabyte LUNs. So yeah, bigger SAN LUNs can be supported for VMS5 file system. Next, and then will we use the data store? So now guys, we are sharing the data store, right? Remember? So after ESXi 1, we're gonna create a data store for ESXi 2 as well, right? So we should not be selfish. We're just gonna have 100 GB or 120 GB we're gonna take for this data store. That's it, yeah. Well, within 120 GB, so there is that much space available that we can just give 120 GB to the data store of the ESXi 2 on the same line as well, and still leave some for expansion of the data store as well, right? So let's not use all of the data store. In fact, let's just go. Okay, 120 is also good. Next, and finish. So this is the data store on the iSCSI. Yeah, it is thin provisioning. It's a comment from Mathaya. Thin provisioning, yeah, it is thin provisioning for my VMware Workstation hard disk, which is inside the that SAN machine, and then there's that iSCSI virtual hard disk that is also dynamically expanding, so that is also thin provisioned. So nothing is taking size. While in my physical disk, I have only 16 GB left. So even if we gave 299 GB, so there's another comment. Yeah, so 299 GB for both ESXi. Yes, I wanted to discuss planning it. So, although it is thin provisioning, but we are still, it's gonna max out someday. So whenever it max out to 120 GB, which I gave now, we can expand it to the with the layer, the in the LAN we have left some storage just for expanding out. What happens in production environments that maybe they have introduced 10 terabyte LAN, and they have huge amount of space, but they will just say how much you need whenever you ask for Exchange servers or any other for VMware. How much do you need? And we just say we don't say that, hey, whatever LAN space you have, just give it to me. They just say how much. So we say just, okay, at least we need 500 GB or 1 terabyte. So they just give us that much, because if they give us the whole thing, then we're just gonna keep on expanding. The other EXI storage will also, whoever else has created its store is using that storage, will also try to expand and expand. Then the third one who has also shared. If you let everyone expand blindly, then of course whoever reaches first, or the combination of those three people who are sharing these disks, they will just max out the whole storage. So always give limited space. Even if you have, you should give them the limited max out size of the disk. Yeah. So yeah, it should not be early bird. There was a comment in the chat that early bird get the HDD. So always give limited space. When they need more, this is the SAN storage, what they do to us. What we as SAN storage people can do to others, that we should give limited space, and then when they request, then we just go slow, because we have to give it to other. We have to give the LANs to others as well. Those disks, or the same LAN is being shared by other team, Exchange teams, SQL teams, VMware teams as well. So this always happens that never give the whole thing. So I'm just giving 120 to max out, and whenever they need, I'm just gonna expand that. And okay, let's go ahead. So this is the data store that we created for ESXi01. I'm just gonna quickly create a data store for ESXi02 as well. New data store ESXi02, but this time it's on the same LAN. Till now we've been creating on independent separate disks data store, but now this is actually what happens on SAN devices, that one big disk or LAN is being shared by 3 or 4 teams, Exchange team, SQL team, VMware team, all other applications that need remote storage. So why is it not showing now? So if I want to go for name and device selection, so let's go ahead and cancel out from here. Let's click it properly and check if the disk is still available. Yes, it is available. So that's what I want to check, if we can share. It is shareable. So again, I'm gonna try to create a data store on this. VMFS next. Nope, it is not showing here for this. So is it showing for anyone else? Same problem. Okay, so it was supposed to be available for others as well. If I go back to the storage, Yeah, E602 was added as a, and it is showing here as a disk separate, and it has enough. So okay, let's create on E601 our virtual machine on that data store as well. Let's check it out if we can. Oh yes, you know what? We need to create a partition. It was saying that use all partitions for that one storage. So I should have said that no, partition it just for that storage. I just when we were creating a data store, we just selected or keep that option selected of use the all the partitions for this E601. That is most probably the reason for that. If I go back to that storage, now either I have to remove the storage or and recreate it, or okay, I create for Toronto, and this is iSCSI storage. I should not have used all the partition. I should have partitioned it. So others, second partition could be used by the other storage. So increase, yes, there's a capacity increase is available, but storage not supported on any host device backing. It's 120 GB, and troubleshooting takes more time. I just wanted to prove a point that we can share that, but I should have selected that partition thing as well. Okay, I can unmount this connectivity and multipathing. I unmount and then delete it. So okay, let me just unmount that, and let's just select that partition. I'm unmounting this storage data store, and then I'm just gonna try to delete this. So I could just quickly create that store, and then okay, let's see. I think this is that minus sign that okay, now it's inactive because it's unmounted. And can we delete it? Okay, delete that data store. I just wanted to quickly go back to the wizard and do that instead of uh, going for the troubleshooting. So unmount and delete whenever you want to delete a data store, remove data store, unmount and delete. And this is a sign of unmounted data store, negative. So then when I just create another one or the new one again on the iSCSI storage, I'm just gonna try to put those partitioning, try to create that partition. Most probably this is the main thing that needs to be done. That's why I appreciate those who are, if there are more people doing the lab along with me. Okay, I'm just gonna start again. So I'm just gonna go to the host, back to the host to create a new data store for this particular host. Right click, new data store. Next, okay, we're there again. BMFS, next. Yeah. Microsoft, okay, I'm selecting that again. Oh, seriously? Okay. Okay. Well, I think I just wanted to check this option, but yes, if you just change the data store, why did I kept the same name? Okay, that's a good correction, guys. Let me just still try that. If use all available partition of this store, so let me just click that. Let me check this option as well. Okay, so it's just going to use the whole thing. It's just zeroing out everything instead. So that was the wrong approach. You're right that I just have to uh, change that name in the of the data store. Okay, good. Ready to complete, finish, SGBT. Oh, did I just give it the whole space? Oh, seriously. Okay. No, I gave it 120. Okay. So let me just quickly add that with that thing you have done. So, okay. Yeah, why did I keep the same name? VMFS. I gave the whole space? Ah, shoot, seriously. Okay. If I gave the whole space, then. But I just. Okay, see? When things start happening wrong, then things starts happening wrong. Oh man. Seriously, I gave the whole space? I did put the 120, then I changed the options, then it got selected to the whole space, I think. Huh. Data store. Yeah, capacity increase. Can I just edit that? Or delete? Do I have to unmount and delete that again? No. It's not gonna let me change that. So, when this is which one? On the 298, this is data store only. Okay, guys, I have to delete that again. Wow, I should not see the time. Oh, okay. When it's a pressure of 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Oh, okay. So there are lots of options in chat coming. Uh, Let me just get rid of this data store again and try to create that and do it right this time. Okay, it's gone already because I chose the whole thing. I chose the 290 GB size. Oh, okay. Okay, so what we're doing is I'm creating a new virtual machine in ESXi01 where I've just created that data store just to create that virtual machine to check if that data store is working on that iSCSI. So we should be seeing this ESXi01 iSCSI data store here. Click that and next and this and click next and let's go ahead. Okay, let's check if okay, so in NFS we did not have that option when we were creating because NFS is not made for VMware but VMFS. So on iSCSI VMFS is supported fully, so those options are offering are there. If I have selected this thick provision, if I select this now, I physically I have just 16 GB left, so I should be getting an error. But if I put thin provision, I hope I'm not gonna get that error because thick provision is gonna just get 32 GB is trying to. Okay, so I've just created that virtual machine in the first data store which I just created on the iSCSI, and if I go back to the SAN box, I'm just gonna go inside and check the iSCSI virtual disk. It's okay, it's in use right now. Okay, good, it's being used right now. Also, if I go to the NFS share here in the C drive, NFS share, it's VM08. All files have been created for VM08 because I just created that, and all the files, the VMDK, SD, and the configuration MX file is there. So it is being used, and next time I'm gonna just try to do experimenting before the lab and not during the lab. Oh, okay, okay. Thank you for the comments. And okay, guys, so at least what we have chosen here, uh, we will we have already created the NFS store or shared folder, data store on the shared folder. We have now created the data store on iSCSI. We have created the data store on local storage. So all three types we have done and created a virtual machine there. Let's just reach here, and then now we're gonna just repeat the next class. We're gonna be going through the tabs as well and try to put to test some of the features there. If this works that way or not, we're gonna go for permissions as well, and try to get the theory of all what we have done. What features are available for which thing. So now when we have the basic environment ready, then we can always try to check other features here, all the features that are available for the virtual machine, all the options that are available for virtual machine, and what we're going to do next, for the DRS, SDRS, and whatever is, the features that covers what we have done till now. We're gonna try to discuss that later on the next class. So for now, what I wanted to do, yeah, okay, so I'm gonna be sending the slide as well. So what I wanted to do was that I would want to create another data store, separate data store, that would be connected to ESXi02, but the space has already been given to that. I'm just gonna be testing that again later after this is done, which is done wrong. So please try to redo this, and really this encourages me when you send the screenshots or the video. This encourages me to put something in put something there in the web page. Hey, these many students have done that. Okay, yeah. There are some communications going on for the upcoming Citrix class starting. So anyone interested, there's an email there. But anyway, this will go on if and there are some other people who are interested. So there's an advertisement going on. So if you're interested in Citrix, this whole extensive step-by-step labs with videos and everything will be done for Citrix in depth, inside out. So let's just try to have as many skills in as less time as possible. It's also a virtualization solution, application virtualization solution. This is infrastructure virtualization solution. That is the best application virtualization solution. Whenever you see virtualization expert jobs, you would see VMware as well as Citrix experts side by side, required expertise side by side. So when we go step by step so much, we're gonna be really familiar with many or most of the features, and I'm aiming for especially the vMotion for the bigger disaster recovery step by step. When we go step by step for those big features, that's where we really try to learn. But when we go step by step from easier features, at least now we are very sure how to add local storage, remote network share, and how to add iSCSI shares, and then use all those three types of storages, and what is the benefit. Like it's local is just so we're going to be talking about storages in detail plus all the options in the next class as well. While if there's that email coming for Citrix, if you're interested, try to have that as much knowledge as you can, and try to do it now. Don't wait that okay, I'm gonna do it later. Do it now. Try to create your notes and send me those screenshots This is, you're not going to believe that, but after some time you will be regretting that you did not create the screenshots. That was for you, not for me. I have the videos, right? I don't need those. But the thing is, when I get those screenshots, I get encouraged that hey, students are really putting their effort, and I need to do it to double it, right? So that's very encouraging for me that you get send the screenshots or the full video of all the labs, right? So okay, so I'm just gonna be waiting for the previous pending screenshots for those who did not send. Many of you have sent video or and screenshots. Some of those who have not sent, it will be encouraging for me that everyone is working hard here. So I should put double effort on that. Okay, so thank you, and we're gonna be meeting on Monday. Goodbye for now. Citrix info would be coming to your email and the timing, and if you reply to that that you're interested, then okay, that will be, yeah, Monday and Wednesday is VMware. I don't know what Citrix. So it will be if the emails come to you, just ask for more information, and